Top 8 Most Powerful Swords in the Marvel Universe. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has forged some of the most promiscuous heroes and villains who wield immense powers. The only complaint is they haven't used their weapons to its full potential. Like Thor's hammer can be used to absorb energy forces, but apart from his hammer, MCU is yet to explore on other fantastic weaponry from the comics. Although, they are not doomed yet, as the Ebony Blade has been introduced in post-credits scene of the Eternals movie, and as the fans know, Ebony Blade is not just a sword. It holds the power to corrupt its wielder. There are many swords in the Marvel Universe, and today we will learn about them, their wielders, and their incredible powers. Welcome to Binge Buddha. In this video, we will explore the top 10 most powerful swords in Marvel Universe. But before we begin, please consider subscribing to us. It may be a small click, but it goes a long way for us. Let's begin. Number 1. Excalibur. According to some legends, Excalibur was forged by the witches of Avalon using magic and spells that predated mankind. To make Excalibur purer, the smiths drew all the evil from it and imprisoned it with another sword, Chaos the Doombringer. Armed with the mighty Excalibur, King Arthur and his knights fought many battles to defend Camelot. After the death of King Arthur, Sir Percy, the first Black Knight, took Excalibur and wielded it with an ebony blade. Before his death, he gave the Excalibur to Lady of the Lake for protection. After traveling back in time with Iron Man, Dr. Doom lost the battle against King Arthur and Iron Man. With the help of Morgan Le Fay, Dr. Doom threw his Excalibur shards into Doctor's armor, and this spell allowed Doom to summon and use Excalibur. However, Iron Man was able to capture it, and after the battle, Merlin took both the sword and returned them to the Lady of the Lake. Excalibur sword can kill anyone, even gods, immortals, and spirits. It can also magically hear auras. Excalibur grants its possessor invulnerability, rendering them immune to being wounded or injured, and provides its user the capacity to perceive magic around them. Number 2. Dragon Fang. A mage named Kaji Dai is said to have carved a nearly indestructible sword from the fangs of a superdimensional dragon. The sword was given to the Ancient One, who in turn gave it to his disciple, Doctor Strange. After she returned the Ebony Blade to Dane Whitman, Strange gives the sword to the Valkyrie. Lady Sif also took Dragon Fang while in Ragnarok after Valkyrie took a fall in battle. After the costly Battle of Midgard during the Realm Wars, Brynhild falls in battle with the aforementioned instigator of the conflict, the Curse of Malekith. A large number of weapons from all 10 countries are scattered around New York, including the Dragon Fang. This sword was captured by the Bullseye, the sociopathic mercenary. When tasked with killing the new Valkyrie, Bullseye slashed Heimdall with the Dragon Fang, and thus showing many new and deadly skills with this sword. Ultimately, Jane has no choice but to destroy the sword before he could kill more people with it. Much like Thor's hammer, Dragon Fang has a recall value. It comes back to its weaponer upon calling. It is a magical sword and can absorb force, turning it into power when it comes in contact with blood of its enemies. Finally, those who wield the sword can also command Valkyrie's horse. Number 3. Soulsword. The Soulsword was invented by Ileana Rasputina while she was imprisoned in a limbo reality governed by Belasco. Ileana miraculously manifested her own life force energy right in front of her. Initially a simple blade, it began to assume various designs and forms as Ileana wielded it, getting more powerful with each usage. Although it can be used as a conventional weapon, its primary purpose is to eternally shatter magical spells and entities. It came with armor that covered magic's left shoulder, chest, and arm. Ownership of the Soulsword appears to ensure dominion over Limbo, yet its full force is only available to magic. The sword was passed to magic's best companion Shadowcat when she turned 6 years old. The Soulsword has been demonstrated to primarily harm magical creatures or objects, seldom injuring non-magical people or items. Magic has the capability to keep her soul sought in nothingness and retrieve it whenever she wants. Shadowcat learned the hard way that immaterial and ghostly beings may also be struck. Number 4. Ebony Blade. The Ebony Blade is a magical blade forged from Starstone meteorite by Merlin and Sir Percy. Ebony Blade is enchanted to hack anything, prevent the user's death, and transform all magic, but also carries a curse that slowly corrupts any user with a thirst for violence, bloodshed, and death. Merlin gave the enchanted sword to Sir Percy of Scandia, the first Black Knight, although he was the 9th person to wield the sword after Sir Reginald. After his death, Sir Percy's son found the sword and vowed to carry it like his father. The sword has been passed down to Percy's lineage for centuries. No matter how noble, the sword would debauch the user. As a counterpart to the Excalibur, the Ebony Blade is a powerful mystical sword. According to the Dark Godnal, the Ebony Blade is a symbiotic artifact with the power to destroy the world, whose true power is beyond human understanding. The blade and its user are so bound together that they can be transported to the location of the blade through mystical rituals, and sometimes even do so. On some occasions, Dane Whitman was brought to the corpse of an ancestor to wield the sword. The user can also, when the sword so desires, remotely summon it or manipulate it in the same way that Thor uses his hammer. Number 5. Phoenix Blade. The blade of the Phoenix origins are unclear, although it was first held by Rookshire around 500 years ago. Rookshire was the second Shear to form a relationship with the Phoenix Force. Despite only being joined with the Phoenix for a short time, the power swiftly tainted him, and he annihilated many planets. The Shear Empire organized the first Imperial Guard to stop him. When Rookshire died, a little amount of the Phoenix Force remained within his sword. To eliminate the last remaining descendant of Rookshire, Vice-Chancellor of the Shear Empire liberated Corvus Rookshire from jail, gave him the Blade of the Phoenix, and sent him after Rachel Grey. Corvus was successful in locating the X-Men and Rachel aboard a Shear Star cruise, although things take a turn for good and Corvus became a part of this men. Corvus immediately became dissatisfied among the mutants in Utopia. So Rogue arranged for him to become the new captain of Savile Redhand's crew on the Golden Mar, allowing him to escape Earth with the Blade of the Phoenix. The Blade of the Phoenix really blazed with electricity and crackled with blue flame. This ability could be used to power explosions or to amplify the impact of a cutting blow. In addition, the blade could block offensive energy assaults. With or without its link to the Phoenix Force, the blade seems to have maintained this potency. Number 6. Odin's Sword. Odin Sword was the name of any weapon born by Odin. Sometimes it wielded itself in the form of hammer, spears, and swords, and they all have magical powers. This sword was developed in 1000 AD when using Odin's energy. He transformed the cursed Rheingold power ring into a gigantic blade about 10 yards in length. It is a one-of-a-kind weapon that, if ever unsheathed, would bring the universe to an end. Numerous Asgard foes, including Mangud, a terrible creature, have sought to conjure the Odin Sword to destroy Asgard over the years. Also, once the destroyer armor swallowed all of the Asgardian souls, Odin used the Oversword as a weapon against it. Despite its might, the Oversword is ineffective against the Celestials. It was discovered during the War of the Serpent that there is a second Oversword. Odin's sword can control natural phenomena, summon meteor bolts, throw down mountains, and magically bind people into imprisonment. Despite its innumerable advantages, the sword rendered useless in front of a Celestial. Number 7. Muramasa Blade. What makes Muramasa Blade so deadly is that it is forged with a part of Wolverine's sword and his rage. But Wolverine only held the second Muramasa Blade. The first one was forged by an immortal madman named Muramasa who lived in Jasmine Falls, Japan. The blade possessed magical ailments which it grants to its owner and is at least a century old. The original sword was also known as the Black Blade. The second sword, wielded by Wolverine, was more popular among the fans. After the First World War, Logan was searching for redemption and he found himself in Jasmine Falls. A series of unfortunate events lead to Itsu's murder by the order of Romulus, and Wolverine sought revenge, for which he approached Muramasa, who forged a sword as powerful as Wolverine himself. He did so by using a part of Wolverine's soul, blood, and his rage to bind the metal of the blade. It is also the only thing that can harm and truly kill Wolverine, so Logan gave it to Cyclops for protection. His enemies, including Sabretooth and Daken, have often tried to steal the sword and use it against Wolverine. The Muramasa Blade is durable and capable of cutting through any substance and reduces the efficiency of superhuman healing. Number 8. All Black the Necrosword. All Black the Necrosword traces its origins from the November issue of Thor, God of Thunder, 2012. The first symbiote, All Black, was embodied from the shadow of the evil god Null and tempered using the divine power of an assassinated celestial. Essentially assuming the shape of a sword forged from living darkness, All Black was born by Null during the evil god's reign, making it the monikers of the Necrosword and Godslayer. After Null was struck out during combat against an army of golden armored gods, All Black abandoned him and connected with Gore, a misotheistic alien who unintentionally followed in Null's footsteps, using it to slaughter gods from across the cosmos and gaining the reputation of the God Butcher. Necrosword, like other symbiotes, can communicate with its hosts and strives to corrupt them. The symbiote sword enables the user to have superhuman strength, durability, speed, reflexes, and powers of regeneration. Like other symbiotes such as Carnage and Venom, the all-black Necrosword is susceptible to intense vibrations and heat, although the resistance is still higher than other symbiotes. That was all for this video. Do hang around for more film and pop culture content. Pick your favorite weapon and leave them in the comments down below. Stay safe and have a good one.